Friday, November the 21st, 2014. It is 12:45 p.m. and I am leaving my training. Made 100 on the test.
Otherwise, I'd still be working on my computer.
How y'all doing?
Good.
Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
Sure. Oh, it's raining. Oh, do it both at the same time. Okay. Got it, Tony. See you later. Good luck. You're welcome. I think that woman in the hall was videotaping me. She was just holding her camera on her cell phone casually. And I think that's what she was doing. 12:48. So, I'm going to go take this paper over to Linwood Charter. For my reference for Ms. Neal. From Pearson. It's in verification. Nobody likes to say references anymore because of the lawsuits. I guess somebody sued somebody over getting a bad reference. Defamation of character, so they don't call it references anymore. They call it verification of the dates that you worked. So I'm gonna go over and do that. I don't know if Roland's tried to call me or if somebody else has, but I'm sending text messages and I was not informed of any kind of notification of any kind of monitoring or warrantless searches or supervision. The instructor, after I turned off my camera, as soon as I did, she came in the room and told us to take a break. We hadn't even started the class yet, and then she picked up her phone and put it to her ear, didn't talk into it, and then headed about halfway out the door and started giggling into her phone. So, you know, She didn't even look at me. She didn't talk to anybody. She didn't even talk into her phone. You know, so whatever. That's not notifying me of anything. But then the same plane that flew over last night when Roland jumped in the Sentra at 9:35 p.m. when Jake and I got home in the Sentra, flew over Circle K training office, very low and loud, which I do have recorded on this audio recorder, which happened at the same time that she did the little routine with her phone. I don't know if they're related or not. I'm just stating the facts as I observed them. But nobody has ever issued me any type of notification of any searches or invitations to participate or testify in any matter that I would be involved in, ever. That's never happened. I've never been verbally or non-verbally invited to do that. Not too many other ways to say that, is there? But that's what it looked like, and it's just people being told what to do, and that's what they're doing. And that woman, when I was leaving, if you look, you'll see she was pointing her camera at me when I left. So they're going to try to sue me or charge me with trespassing, I'm guessing, because I'm recording. You know, but, I mean, you know, look at what's going on here. I'm not being notified of anything. I've never consented or given anybody a reason to think that I consent to searches, warrantless searches, surveillance, monitoring, supervision. Never been notified of such, and you know, have never been invited to go participate in anything. So, you know, there's honestly no reason. I didn't think that that had anything to do with me. She said take a break, and I figured she just wanted to make a personal phone call, her boyfriend or something. Then that was probably the reason for her giggling. And people do that kind of thing all the time. I don't see why it has to have anything to do with me. But if that counts as being notified and invited, then that's ridiculous. Because people do the very same things for other legitimate reasons. You know, and the plane didn't fly over until after she came back into the room. So, you know, you don't need to use a plane, really. It's not necessary. It's called English. We speak it in this country. And when we speak it, we say the things that are necessary to communicate with other people. That's how that works. Come with me. That's it. If you can't say it, then that works. If you can't do that, then that works. And I've had people do that to me that weren't asking me to go anywhere with them. And I talked to them, and they didn't have anything to say other than, oh, I just wanted to, you know, ask you, where did you get your hair done? Or, I like your shoes. Those are really great. I used to have this pair of wooden shoes that were really great. I like those shoes. I wore them to death. But anyway, you know, that is ridiculous. That's smoke and mirrors and shadow games. And you know, I'm sorry if that's it. Then I'm fucked anyway, because that's ridiculous. Is what it is. Having somebody do things like that. Yeah, sometimes I might get it, but then even then, I've approached people doing stuff like that, and they turn around and walk the other way. Or they'll drop down to the ground and start talking to me like, oh, God, my back hurts all of a sudden. You know, so you see people's behavior, and it's strange anyway. Failure to surmise, no. That woman doesn't know me. That instructor doesn't know me. She's never met me before. Why would you call her and have her put on a show like that and do stuff like that without informing me, when you could just as easily call me? And you know how embarrassing that is, to know that somebody that you don't know and have nothing to do with, other than that she was the human resources lady at the training office, knows what's going on with you. Do you know how humiliating that is? I feel like I'm a prisoner in shackles, and everybody under the sun knows that. Who's she going to go home and tell? All those administrators in office all knew. They had to okay it. right? And I'm walking out and I'm being videotaped too. You bet I'm videotaping you, sweetheart. This is unbelievable. It's outrageous government conduct is what it is. There's no explanation for it. If I couldn't tell somebody something officially and was afraid that I was going to be surveilled if I told them, I wouldn't broadcast it to people. That's the last thing I'd do. Because you know what? They're going to tell other people. And you know what? Those other people are going to tell other people. So guess what? Everybody knows that's what you're doing. Yeah, and since everybody knows that's what you're doing, it's quite possible that somebody's going to find out that it's common knowledge anyway. So since you've broadcast it to everybody and allowed it to be broadcast the way you have, then why didn't you just call her instead? Right? But you'd rather use a plane to fly over the place where I'm at or over my apartment building. Hello? But you can't use plain English. What, is that against the law? You can't do anything? I'm just supposed to do what? Just know? I'm just supposed to know? Is that right? That is such a delusional assertion. That is so prejudiced and partial. That's so unbelievably side talk. It's like trying to say that you're feeding the hungry while you're walking up to them and handing them a plate of food and taking it right out of their hands right after somebody stands there and says you handed them the plate and even takes your picture doing it, right? We got her on the phone doing that, and I go through this everywhere I go. There's no excuse for it. Honestly, it's outrageous to do something like that and then broadcast it like that and then say, oh, y'all, wink, 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 wink. You're in the loop now. This is top secret 007 James Bond assignment. Are you up to it? Can you do this? Okay, and these are the rules, and you can't tell her. And, you know, that kind of stuff. That's telling everybody, but not telling me is what that is. That's all it is. And it's ridiculous to expect me to respond to that when it's not any kind of behavior you know, that I would know or recognize readily as being, you know, something like that. And for everybody else to know that's what you're doing and what she's sworn to secrecy, and to even have her behave that way in front of other people. They all see it. She told us all to take a break, and she just put her phone up to her. She didn't dial numbers on or anything. She just held it to her ear and walked out of the room, not saying anything, and she got almost to the door, and she started giggling. At least halfway to the door, and she just, like that. Right? Okay, that's bizarre behavior, isn't it? That most people in a training room wouldn't, you know, it looked like to me she didn't want to train the class, and she wanted to go make a personal phone call. Okay, well, whatever. This is life and this is people, okay? But that doesn't have to mean it's anything else. And to say I should have just known and should have just figured it out, you going to make an ass out of me in front of my whole class? The people don't know me and they see what you're doing? And what? And what then? And then it's my fault because I'm not what? Doing what? I don't have telepathy? You know? I don't have what? I don't have reasoning skills? Is that the next excuse? Or I failed to surmise? Is that the next one? Really, honestly. I mean, seriously. Because that's ridiculous behavior, and anybody would say that that is not explicit notification of anything. Not even close to it. Right? And it certainly would be confusing to anybody. I don't have any intention of being uncooperative with anybody. Nobody has ever asked me for cooperation. In fact, this is all being done to make sure that I can't be cooperative, to make sure that I'm not given the opportunity to do that. And that's blackmail. To be that deceptive. But you're going to fly a goddamn plane over the goddamn building and fly a goddamn plane over my apartment building and over the parking lot. I had a damn helicopter drop out of the sky when I was at Walmart. So it had been following me back through Broadmoor. I mean, down above, just right above the trees. It hovered above my vehicle so damn close I could have hit it with a goddamn baseball. And God bless America, and I love Jesus just like anybody else does. But I'm sure if God was here, he would damn that straight to hell for doing that kind of shit. You would rather do that than speak to me. You'd rather go to that expense and do all this, and so you've tried so hard and play those kind of ridiculous games. You know what it is? It would take me 2 minutes to do this. I would have had this case wrapped up in 5 seconds flat. It would have been, that's what I'd have done. If you're afraid of being seen doing that, then it's, turn your back to the cameras. You can't do that. Get a piece of paper. Hold it up right on it. Tear a little piece of it off. Right on the corner. Follow me, Jeanette. How hard is that to do? Really? Nobody's ever done that, and this is what I get while we have a freaking aircraft dropping out of the sky. Sounds like a damn war zone? Really? And having her act that way, and that's, you know, the giggle on top of that, you know. Canceling the class before it even starts so she can play that kind of a game and slip out of the room to say what, that I'm consenting to it and been notified? No. That is a way to keep the game going, isn't it? That's a way to keep the game going and keep it going and make sure nothing ever stops, right? And to say that I'm informed and wink, wink, just say and do this, and no, she doesn't know. She didn't look at me. She wasn't concerned about looking at me. She didn't hand me the phone. I had no reason to think that her phone call had anything to do with me. She didn't look at me. She didn't give me any indication at all whatsoever that had anything to do with me. Saying that I just know and that's what it is. Why would I have any knowledge of somebody else's cell phone call when I'm not engaged in that phone call and that cell phone is to that person's ear and not mine, and I don't know that person and have absolutely nothing to do with them? Okay? That is delusional to make that assertion. And anybody doing that, making that kind of assertion, is deliberately choosing to make that assertion in a delusional state of mind, if you actually believe that counts for anything, because you broadcast it to everybody. After she left, and everybody in the class all started talking real quick about where they were going to work and their kids and all this stuff. And then she came back, and the plane dropped down just, I mean, if you review the tape, I mean, that's what I need, is I need 24/7 audio and video surveillance. And, you know, not being able to charge my phones and stuff like that. That's the real problem. So, you know, it's 1:02 now. I'm at Linwood. I got to go turn this paperwork in for Pearson. I work for Pearson. It's called NCS Pearson. And we also call it Pearson Performance Scoring Group. And this is a way for the human resources lady to verify my employment for Pearson. So I'm going to go turn this in now. Let me turn off this tape and start over again. It's 1:03 p.m. now. Friday, November 21st, 2014.